Hoyan Orvant, and it's Kathy here. Good evening is the best I can do in Dutch for those of you in Sydney, and I'm here in Warwick, the Netherlands. Yes, it's a little bit cooler here and it's a little bit quieter. I mean, it's been a crazy few weeks in Croatia, and so I'm now trying to get back onto some work, and I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. Anyway, I'm just chiming in because many of you have asked me about how did I start my entrepreneurial journey. So I wanted to just share that with you now. I mean, if I really think about it, it started when I was very, very small, probably about a couple of years old, really, 3 years old, when my dad started his Chinese food restaurant business. Now, Dad had always worked extremely hard being an immigrant. He'd held down several jobs and he'd created a few businesses, none of which were going to be as successful as his food business. And I remember him telling me from a really, really young age that, it's very, very hard to get ahead of life unless you run your own business. And so I'd always wanted to do that. And I saw the rewards of Dad's working hard, and Mum, and how they created something out of nothing, which was very, very successful for them. They retired at an early age. So it was actually during school, I knew that I wanted a life of design. And at that time, I thought I wanted to be a landscape designer. Well, that dream was cut short very quickly when I realized I needed to do chemistry. It was not a topic that I was very good at all. And much to Dad's relief, because Dad really thought that I would be hauling around rocks and he didn't want any daughter of his to be doing that. So anyway, Dad was very happy when he discovered I wasn't going to be having a life as a landscape designer. What I then did next was I decided that I would be an interior architect. So I went off to what was Enmore College School of Design, and I applied for their interior course. Anyway, I learnt that I wasn't really suitable for that, or so I was told. Maybe it's something to do with my spatial recognition. It's not so good, and I'm not so good at reading maps. And they said that I would be perfect for visual communication, which I had no idea what that was. Later on learnt it was graphic design. So that then took me on a 4-year course of doing a Bachelor of Arts in Visual Communication. Towards the last year of that course, I then went and got a casual job working with Kerry Packer's magazine empire. And I worked on a magazine that I'm a little bit embarrassed to talk about. It was part of an American chain called the National Enquirer, and we were the Australian arm called the Star Enquirer. And it was a weekly publication, a tabloid, and we would be reporting on such serious issues as an alien who ate my baby. And but what it taught me was, because I had to be really, really fast on coming up with layouts, because I had to pump out like 12 pages each week. I was given a desk. I really wasn't given much tuition at all, and I just had to dive in and get it done. So that was great training for that. And after I left college, I went to work for, again, a publishing business, and this time I was an art director for a company that produced entertainment collateral. So it would be brochures, it would be all their advertising for concerts, bands, opera, that type of thing. And I was actually in charge of 2 to 3 other creative designers who were there way before me, and it was quite a difficult task because I had no experience in even being a designer for long, let alone having to manage other people. Anyway, that environment turned out to be quite toxic, and I left after 8 months. Then I went and got a job in a company which was based in the city, and that was corporate branding. And suddenly I was now a senior art director. I mean, I didn't even feel I was an art director, let alone a senior art director. And suddenly I was then, responsible for 20 creative designers. And I was also having to pump out my own design. In fact, I didn't cope very well at all, because, every night I was having to take my work home to produce the designs to bring them in the morning, because when I was told to turn on that tap of creativity, I just couldn't do it. And it was a very, very toxic place. If I thought the other place was toxic, this was even more so. Every week somebody was terminated. it was a great team. They were creative people, and I suppose we were united by the fact that, you know, management was treating us so badly. So again, after 8 months, I left that, and I seriously started to question myself. I was thinking, you know, maybe I'm not cut out to be a designer. Maybe I need to consider another career path. Maybe I just need to go overseas and travel for a while. Anyway, what then happened was a friend of mine told me that there was a creative job going. It was just a freelance project for a public relations firm. So I started a project with that. And then my business really grew from that, because that was during the 80s when there was quite a lot of money around and there was a lot of work being done in PR. And I then managed to find, or they found me, a PR firm who was the biggest one in the South Pacific at that time. And they had, I don't know, about 30 consultants, all handling various clients, all needing design. So within 3 months of starting with that company, I had my first employee, and I had to move out of mum and dad's, bedroom and start my own business within the office of this PR firm. Very, very quickly the business grew, and that was great for a few years until that company went into liquidation. Then suddenly I was on my own, and I had to almost start again. I had to go and find my own clients. I'd had the luxury of having clients brought to me. And, you know, look, that was great. And again, I still felt very green, because then I was again managing people, leading people. And I was just so green, you know, in dealing with the negotiation side of business. I had printers constantly pulling the wool over my eyes, maybe because I was a female and I was just so young and naive. But I learnt very quickly, and, because there was quite a lot of money at stake too with the sorts of projects we were working on. And then, you know, I also learnt that I wasn't very good at managing people. I found that I wanted to be everybody's friends. I was too nice. I was too kind. I didn't lay out clear boundaries, and because of that, I wasn't able to actually exert authority when I needed to do that. So that was a huge learning curve, and that was really how I started my entrepreneurial journey. Everything that I've ever done has always been a case of being thrown into the deep end. And that's, you know, not a bad thing, because I haven't had time to think about things and I've just got to do it. And I've always come from, I suppose, I've not had that fear, which has been really, really great. And I think it's definitely an attribute that's needed when you are running your own business. Anyway, that's the beginning. That's how I started my entrepreneurial journey. And the next time I speak with you, I will share with you where that then moved to, how I actually then retired, and was retired for 10 years before I started my journey of social entrepreneurship. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have our next episode of Crazy Dreamers coming up this Saturday, so watch out for that when I speak to Michaela Talkington, who is a specialist in the area of social enterprise in the UK. And we've just announced a wonderful offer with Nalu, the young fashion brand started by Finn and Darlie Schoenfelder when they were 11 and 14. Darlie's now the old age of 17, and that's the last episode of our show. Until next time, guys, crazy dreaming, and may you all be well. Bye!